I think what's the most unfortunate, maybe in terms of the coverage, I think you're right when you said there's been a backlash to the union. I think a lot of the auto workers have really been, vilified, made to seem like it's vilified because of saying, oh, they're paid too much anyway. It's such a backwards way of thinking, because if anything, we should be looking at those union jobs as a standard, not as, and I think it's a sort of negative reactionary resentment of sorts. That's why they've been saying that about those workers. Anyone that's ever been in a plant or knows the UAW. I mean, they know those are tough jobs, and with pressures to compete internationally, lines continue to speed up, and company tactics to keep the workforce divided and each worker competing with each other for production. I mean, it's well documented that that's a really tough job they're working. So I think that's the most unfortunate part of the whole conversation, is that when blaming those workers, that somehow that's the gluttony of the industry, and not the pay, what the pay that the execs receive,
Right.
So I guess that's something that really I think is unjust about the whole conversation.
Yeah. Do the unions in that situation, like Martine was saying, the unions don't want the government overlooking them, or were you meaning the companies?
Yeah, is what I think, because according to the news, the union say, I don't want it to be involved with this, something like that. Is what I understood myself.
They don't want the bailouts.
Yeah,
they don't want the income from the government.
Yeah, because spying behind you, sometimes you don't feel no good. Somebody looking you.
Oh, people looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, so Republic, great victory, great labor victory, great people's victory this
That's
week
right.
in Chicago. And there's a lot of good articles about it. I like John Nichols' article in The Nation. I also thought that my friend, the CNN commentary, Chicago Factory Sit-In Fits Nation's Mood, which that's on CNN.com by Nelson Lichtenstein and Christopher Phelps. All of this leads us to wonder, in this time of economic duress, whether or not we will either have a growing unionization push, or if, Adam, what you're talking about, this worker center or new kind of organizing that is not quite union, some sort of part community organizing, will take off in some sort of more formalized fashion, or if in fact the administration coming in will quietly hope for these things to blossom so that they're able to do the right thing. I mean, one of the things that President-elect Obama has said now over and over, I need you in order to do what you want me to do. You need to stand up. So the Republic workers, by sitting down, stood up, as you said. That's a great line that's being used. But they also put out there in the public way an example of, look, we're not going to take this kind of just pull the rug out from under our lives without a struggle. So it sets it up for maybe the kind of work that, Adam, you've been involved in, and Martine, you're talking about. Let's as workers and owners and union people, and even the government overseers, if there is such a thing, plan for production, not closing down production.
That's right, Katie. And I think that while the Republic situation, was so horribly unjust to those workers, I as I've said elsewhere, I think this is a standard practice. I mean, we need to face this with companies. If we're talking about wage theft, that I believe Kim is going to talk more generally about.
Right.
This is one of the dozens of ways in which workers are robbed their wages, and it doesn't just happen in bad economic times. It happens in booming times, as we have documented with the over 2,000 workers that we've collaborated with at the center. And I think it's just during bad economic times when it starts to get the attention that it deserves. But as the Heinemann case, shows, and as others we can point to, not specifically to the Warren Act, but other forms of wage theft. This is really standard practice in business. Business as usual. The level of deregulation, has really. I think that's one of the main culprits here.
Sure.
People say corporate greed is the reason, but it's really not just to blame those characters on top. It's a lack of government enforcement. We have good laws on the books, but a law is only as good as it's enforced, and so unfortunately it takes workers banding together to and sometimes through worker centers to actually enforce that law when the agencies don't do it.
Punto bueno.
Thank you.
Good point.
Good.
Well, I have to let us go on to our next guest. Lisa is going to interview Kim next. So I want to thank you, Martine. Thank you very much,
to be over here.
Mr. Kiddos. And can we invite people again to that celebration on Monday?
Yes. Yeah, let me repeat that. So again, the victory celebration for the Public Windows workers, it's happening this Monday, the 15th. Food is being served at 5:30, and the program is running from 6:30 to 7:30. That's happening at the Teamsters Local 705 Auditorium. That's at Ashland and Van Buren.
Right. Great place. Okay. Well, we're going to clear out of this space. You are listening to Live from the Heartland. While it is live from the studio at this point, we will be back on the Heartland stage one of these days, as soon as our equipment gets filled. And I'm really, really grateful for you guys coming out this morning. I'm going to invite you back because we want to keep tabs on your path to victory for the Heinemann bakery workers.
Okay, we want to try to do all we can, with the help us with you guys over here, and Adam with the interfaith, and please, let's take an advantage together.
Yes, we'll be back.
All right, very good. Thank you, guys.